Good morning and welcome. Glad you are here. Thank you for joining us today. I'm taking over the screen share here. I think I have it. There we go. All right, let's get started. Hey, I put a little note in the chat. So if you would, I saw my team asked where you were from, because that's always nice to see. We have Michigan in the Hey, are you go green or go blue, Michigan? I have to ask. I'm sorry. This is a very green household, so I have to check. And if you're green, I love audio low. Thank you so much. All right. You want to give a little talk here too? Yep. Oh, good. We got some go green here. So if you're go green, you're having a good hockey period right now, obviously, and basketball as well. Thank goodness. So, all right, good.
I'm Jill's sidekick today.
Yes, you are.
Happily.
He's like, what are we talking about today? I'm like, you'll see it. It's fine. Oh, good. All right, let me just make sure my team. Okay, we're all good here. So thank you for joining us. I'd love to know too if you would put in the chat for me. I know the room's kind of big, but this will give me a little gauge on where you are in your land investing journey. So I just love to know real quick, are you brand new to this? Like, hey, I just saw you guys on Tuesday, or last week. This tripped my radar. Okay, good. So this is all good. All right. I'd like to know if it's a new experience or if you are in the business and looking to, maybe you're in real estate in some way too. How about that? I'd like to know a little bit about you. Starting November, been mailing, doing a few steals. Good. I know I have some oldies. Good. Oh, 16 years. Awesome. All right.
This is really helpful, Jill.
Yeah. So we have a good mix of a lot of people here, new to land, other experience. Okay, this is great. I love this.
Made one deal for $40,000 profit.
Oh,
Maybe you should just stop right here, Garrett.
no, no, no. Other mail, no lead. Oh, you'll get there. This is awesome. Really, really good. One small commercial property. Cool. Well, one of the things about land and what we do is it's perfect for when you're just getting started, because it's one of the easiest type of transactions versus commercial property. Thank you very much, Sika here. Or if you already are successful, in another part of real estate, it's an easy thing to add to your portfolio. So, or if you're just brand new, don't even know what's going on here, you have a job, you have a life, or you're like us, you want to just kind of not work that hard and travel and do some deals that will pay for that. This is good for that too. So I love it. Oh, month 5, did a few deals pre-Land Academy. So this is great. We have a good size room here. I'm really happy. Wow. Okay. So let's dive in, and I'm going to have time too for some Q&A at the end also. Keep in mind, this is 3 days, right? We're going to do an hour a day, and I'm going to tear off little nuggets each day. So we're not going to cover everything today, and I don't want to, overwhelm you. I'm just going to kind of get started a little bit here. And as we build on this, by Thursday, you're going to go, okay, now I got the whole picture. I get it. And of course, this is recorded, so you can go back and rewatch things later. And I hope you do. All right, so today we're talking about, this is your blueprint. We're going to talk for 3 days, about buying and selling and kind of what we do. This is us. I am Jill DeWitt. This is my partner, Stephen Jack Vitala. This all started because of him, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. So here's the agenda for the 3 days. So today we're going to talk about the whole big picture, like the blueprint. I have a good 10-step outline to show you of what we do, and I think it's in your workbook also. So we're going to talk about goals a little bit, and just kind of the roadmap of, how we do our deals. We're going to talk about our business model. You're going to understand that, just how that unfolded. We're going to talk a little bit about choosing right markets. I just realized now it says Jack and Jill's proven criteria. It's really Jack's. So
I think it's all ours now.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, I'll go with that. So good. We're going to talk about, data. That's so important to us, how data really drives everything that we do. And you don't want to guess. It does cost money. I'm going to give you a couple case studies, although we just got a good case study from Derek. Did some mail, made $40,000. There, that's a case study. And then we're going to talk about deal funding because I want you to know that it doesn't matter if you don't have a lot of money to buy these deals. Oh, the money is there. I promise. So that's today. Day two, of course, we're going to talk about finding and buying these properties, dig a little bit deeper, and how we consistently buy them. We don't chase anybody. We let it come to us. It's really direct mail. We'll cover that. And we'll talk about pricing, and then we'll have a guest. I'm not even sure. I threw some names out too, by the way, of who our guests are going to be this week. We have one tomorrow, we have one on Thursday, and I'm not exactly sure who they're going to be. So this will be fun for me also. Oh, cool. And then on Thursday, we're going to talk about, this is the whole big picture. We're talking about buying, finding and buying. And then we're going to talk about selling it and quickly and getting paid. And we're going to talk about due diligence, before I buy it, how do I know it's a great property? How do I sell it fast? How do I get buyers, to keep coming back? And then scaling my business. I think I got a special guest on Thursday. So again, it's today, tomorrow, and Thursday, just 1 hour a day. Here is the link if you want to screenshot that for the recordings, or it should be, you're going to get an email too if you're here live in this room. And then, of course, there's a little workbook to kind of help you plan and set some goals and really solidify everything that you're learning today. Also, we are going to have prizes. So just so you know, here are the prizes. So if you attend all 3 days live, you're going to get a free invite to have a strategy call. I didn't even know about this. So it's with 2 people on my team. So this could get busy, but you're going to talk to a pivotal member on our staff and my transaction coordinator. So this will be great. The grand prize drawing. So on our member call on Thursday, we're going to hold a drawing there. And one lucky attendee who does all 3 is going to get a free property. And I'll show you about that here in just a minute. Great way to kickstart your land business. And of course, there'll be an email for the access to the member calls coming out too this week. So don't worry, just keep an eye on those. Daily, there's going to be a drawing that my team's going to do after the call for everyone. And you're going to get an email for one lucky person will get a free 30-minute consultation with my team. These will be a little bit shorter, probably 15-minute strategy calls. And then these will be longer calls with my team every day. In addition, my team is putting together some fun throwback swag bags. I have old Fun Land Academy hats. I have mugs. I have jerseys. I have all kinds of fun stuff.
We have 10 years of stuff in our garage.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Oh, wait do you see? I have a good slide that I prepared for you that I was like, it took me like 2 hours to put this together because I was laughing and having so much fun the other day. So I've got some good stuff coming. So that's for the people who do the most Facebook or the most Discord interaction. What are you talking about? So here's a Facebook group. It is not closed. So you can go in there and just start posting and do screenshots of what we're doing right now today. Like, oh my gosh, here I am. This is great. Kind of thing. And then for Discord, we have now, just this year, I think it is, we opened up a free section to our Discord member forum. So when you get in Discord, there's parts you can see that are free, and then there's parts that are closed for members. But then we can all really communicate back and forth. That's really, really cool. So, by the way, my team said something about don't forget to post. This is a little note here. Don't forget to post your daily homework in Discord and Facebook. And I'm like, isn't that cheating? So I don't know. It's called strategy. Okay, got it. So here's the property, just so you know. And again, it's going to be announced on our Thursday member call. Here it is. I kind of updated some stuff. So it's a property, it's a property out in Valencia County. So similar properties here, they are starting around, $1,500, $1,600 and up, depending on the area. It's just it's not a 40,000 property like who just had that property. It was really good. But anyway, it's not a $40,000 property, but you know what? It's a good 15, not like Derek, but it's a good 1,500 bucks. and that's going to get you going. And the main thing is too, this is going to be a good property for you to learn on, you know, how to sell it, getting pictures, posting it, understanding deeds, all of that good stuff. So, oh, this is a good little tip. We've been playing around with AI and using it. Look at none of these people are doing it too. I just pulled this yesterday and did a little screenshot of literally what this is a screenshot from Zillow of properties in the area and what they're selling for. So I thought it was interesting. No one took a moment to do AI, and we're really getting into that now and making it look like you're camping. Oh, thank you, Jamae. She said this is where I started, right in Valencia County. There you go. All right, so let's talk about us for a little bit. You
Wow.
remember this? This is where I got lost. I was trying to find some really old photos and some things just to show you. Here's what's great that's funny. This is just Land Academy. So Land Academy itself has been 10 years now. So since 2015, we have been helping you and teaching you our business model on how we buy and sell land. And here's what's great. So that was 2015. So that was 10 years ago. 20 years before that is when Jack really got started. So this is so cute. This is home office, and this is a little office that I remember that printer was right there and that back door. That was so funny. This is when we were getting started, and we lovingly together decided that I shouldn't be working from the house because it was a little too close. So I would go to the office and hang out there, and Jack would call me from there, and we would do, I think it was a Zoom thing like this too, like do our podcast from there. And you would just kind of talk to me about what's going on in our deals. And remember these calls, they were
There's
like,
still a .org too.
yeah, it was a .org. Look at this is Land Academy podcast episode 14 when we were talking about launching Land Academy, and it was called the Cash Flow from Land program. So, and then back then too, of course, podcast 14, we're like, is this even going to work? Is anybody really interested? We thought we had an interest from our
Exactly
buyers.
the same 10 years ago. You do.
Thank you. Oh,
We don't look too happy there.
look at this. I put this together.
What is all this?
I did this yesterday. Remember when I was in my office yesterday for a couple hours? I was in here yesterday goofing up, and I'm like kind of updating the slides for today, making it better. And I thought, I thought I'd really show you, what we've done over the years. We are not brand new to this at all, and nor are you, nor are people like Jamae. And there's plenty of members in this room right now that have been with us for years, like the whole time. And I'm so happy and so proud. But I thought I'd show just some changes over the years. So here's 2015 and 2016, and here we are dipping our toes in live events. Like, well, let's see who wants to, show up here. And you might recognize the back of some of these guys' heads too. It's kind of funny when you look at this. Look how cute we are here. Like, oh, I forgot about this. This was, I guess we had a good photo shoot during COVID.
Some of these people in the audiences in 17 and 18
Yeah.
went on to just be amazing successes and join us for a career path years later and talk about it.
Yeah. I should find a Seth photo in here. All the things we've been doing, all helping each other. You know what? That's the whole point here too, is everything we do. Let me back up and just give you the about us. So, will you give us like a few minutes? We have time. Will you give us a few minutes on what got us to here?
Yeah, so Jill and I had a very successful land acquisition and resale business before I met Jill. And then what ended up happening is I met Jill and she was working for somebody else. And I realized I had a light bulb moment, like, why don't we do this together? So we started, this was around 2009-ish, maybe eight. And so we worked together for 5 years, buying and selling land, very successful, and we're constantly running out of money. And so we started Land Academy so that we could be your partners. So we could logically raise capital without going to get debt, raise capital in a version of partners. You probably know it now as land funding. And so that's what this is all about. And it really worked much better than I thought.
The other part was we were getting bombarded by our buyers back then. I was even going to go further back. So back originally, you were in commercial banking. You want to give even a little snippet on that, if you don't mind?
I cut my teeth for brokering nursing homes, long-term care facilities, one of the most complicated real estate transactions you could ever possibly be involved in. It took a year to do one deal, and I did well. I'm actually writing a book about it. It'll be released in about 60 days-ish. And I got sick of it. I got burned out on it because it was so tough. A lot of deals fell out of contract because of the length of time that it took to do. So I went from, I sat down with a piece of paper and said, what's the simplest real estate transaction? It ended up being buying a piece of rural vacant land directly from the owner. And so you cut out all kinds of people, real estate agents, lawyers, in some cases, escrow agent, and everybody else, lenders, you know, geez, the list goes on and on. So it's just a buyer and a seller in a room with a cashier's check and a notarization. So, and that worked out great. It turned out it was an underserved market. And geez, I did probably 13,000 deals until I met Jill. And then together we've probably done between 2 and 3,000 transactions. And so that's kind of the story.
hmm I was to say too, this whole direct mail thing, everything that we do started with Jack. It really did. You know, back then it was faxing. When you were starting to, when he was
Yeah.
doing his nursing home things, he realized why am I picking up the phone and calling all these people one
Yeah.
by one to find out if they want to sell me their property?
The whole
And
key to this is utilizing a closed database.
yeah,
And so back then, there was no, it was all on paper. This is before the internet. So that there was a phone book sized book published with all
that
the
was,
information, like a dream data set.
yeah.
And so I tried to get the publisher to get it electronically, no way. So I input that into a data set and started contacting people, both buyers and sellers, and it worked out really well. Nobody ever did that before. Fast forward to now, it's the exact same thing we do. We're utilizing the technology, the same concept, but much newer, much more fresh technology.
Yep. Exactly. So fast forward. So that's where we are today. So we had so many buyers come to us back. So we're, as you can see, Jack figured out this whole data approach and to send out some kind of communication and let this people who are interested in selling come to us. So fast forward to data, we use assessor data, like you mentioned, and we send out letters with offers on them. That's the whole big thing here. We're going to talk all about that today, and this week, how we send out the offers, wait for them to call us back, then we create these deals. We're not finding them, we're not trolling around. So what happened was when I came into the picture, had this happy little small closed our own little company. Well, there was a team, but a small company buying and selling our own land deals. So many of our buyers were other investors out in the community. Some are still there and some didn't make the cut. Some retired. And anyway, they would come to us and say, all right, Jill, I'm buying this property from you. I'm marking it up. How are you buying it so cheap? So we started
Yeah.
sharing our business model. That's what led to Land Academy too. We're like, you know what? Let's put this down, put it out there for the planet. Everybody keeps asking us. Well, we'll record some DVDs back then and let's just see how it goes. And then here we are 10 years later with Land Academy and so many other investors, and some of them making more than us every month, which I love. That's like the greatest thing when I find that out.
Look, it's real important to note there's a lot of traffic and noise on the internet about buying and selling land. Jill and I were the first to do this. I had
Mhm.
no competition, and
Yeah,
everybody who's teaching this is affiliated somehow with Land Academy,
I love it.
if not an actual member. And Mark Podolsky was our first member.
Yeah, I love that. And he mentions that if you ever read, if I don't know if you know Mark's book, but that you're in there. I love it. So the whole point is we have 30 years of success ourselves that this does work. This has always put food on the table. We played around with other business models, by the way, but nothing has been as good and consistent and loves us back like land. I love land, so we are nuts about it. So, and now with Land Academy, I have 10 years of Land Academy, so I can really help you. And so when I say it's your turn, we got you. So this is what we're doing today. And then we're going to talk about the blueprint here. So we're going to talk about goals. You know, what's involved in the blueprint? Well, first of all, where are you going? you got to really think about what you want to get out of this first. So you need to have short-term goals, you need to have long-term, you need to have big pictures goals. Next, you need to have a roadmap. That's where we come into. We'll help you with goals and we're going to help you with a roadmap, really understanding the model and understanding how this all works and understanding, how it goes from nothing to, like Derek, I have a deal and I'm staring at $40,000 in the bank. How did that just happen? I need to do that again, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So we're going to talk about, so the whole process is really kind of 10 steps. I kind of thought about it and put that down for you to understand. I've got a couple case studies I'll kind of show you, kind of like Derek. Our data-driven approach, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. We kind of already did, but we'll talk a little more about it, what he really does behind the scenes using data to not only for the offers, but pricing and really picking areas and understanding like triggers. We're going to talk a little bit about, what triggers today and tomorrow, all this week. Tells you the data will tell you where to mail, and the data will tell you what prices to offer. How's that? And then we'll talk about funding too, because I don't want you to worry about that. Your job, you'll understand, I'll say this a lot this week, is in Jack, our Mirror Jack, it's his saying, is to be an acquisition machine. Funding the deals, that's no problem. So let's talk about short-term goals. I want you to just think about, and this is stuff for this week, and because you're here for a reason. There's a lot of you in this room, and you are here for something. You are here to obviously use this as a vehicle, as a tool to either pay off something, retire, quit a job, get out of a jam, something.
What kind of jam, Joe?
I don't know. Maybe a gambling jam. I don't know. I'm joking. Maybe my wife has,
Keep going.
redone the house jam. I don't know. What kind of jam would you be getting at? Maybe my husband bought another classic car jam. Like, I don't know. Or
Except
you want to buy a classic car and it's not a jam, that's a reward. But anyway.
the very first slide was us 10 years ago with separate offices.
That's good. Now I can knock on your wall. It's a little scary. But there are there's 3 doors between our offices though, so that's actually good. I could slow the other person down. Are you sure you want to go in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 doors to stop you. But well, you need to think about this. And what do I want to do in the next 6 months? We'll talk about that. And whatever your goals are, you need to write them down. I want you to think about what's your financial goal for this year. Maybe it's money, or maybe it's not financial. Maybe it's a number that equates to, I'm going to kill somebody in my job kind of
Yep.
thing.
That's a jam.
It's going to be a customer or me, kind of
Mhm.
thing. What's going on? Is it now? Is it in 5 years from now? Because you have some other goals. Maybe you're going to retire and you need something else to afford to travel and do some of the things that you want to do. Trying to think, maybe you're selling a business. This is a very common thing. Maybe you're like, I'm just done with this. I'm selling my insurance company. I'm not done. I want to do something else that I don't want to work that hard. I want to do something that's profitable, and doesn't take all my time. I don't have to go into an office. So whatever it is, think about it, put it in your workbook, write it down, put notes or sticky notes on my desk here. I want you to really look at that. I believe in that. I didn't for a long time ago, but I do believe in writing these goals down and staring at them. It does work.
I would take it a step further. I would, I don't know if I'm going to say stuff and get kicked under the desk here, or how does this work? Can I just say whatever I want?
You can say whatever you want, and I'll tell you if that's coming in 3 slides or if it's not covered at all. It doesn't matter. Say it. Okay.
We have a lot of new people. So Jill has asked everybody, what I would do is take a look at your calendar. If you don't have a calendar, please get one. I would highly recommend Microsoft 365. And I would have you look at what available time you have. Forget about buying and selling land. Just forget it for now. Just look at, oh, I've got 2 hours on Wednesday. I got every single day in the morning, I've got 2 hours there. On Sunday, I don't need to do X. And that will really, that's a huge indication of success. if you can be that organized and really utilize a calendar with whatever's going on in your life now and how you're going to fit this into your life.
Yeah. So write it down. And this is covered. We help with this because this is like Jack just said. It's so important. It's one thing to think, oh, I want to make $1 million this year. Well, what the heck does that look like?
That doesn't work.
Yeah. You need to break it down a little bit.
Yeah.
What does this quarter look like?
Yeah.
What does this month look like? What do I need to do this week to meet those goals?
Yeah.
I want to do a deal a week. I want to do a deal a month. I want to do how much mail does that equate to? So just so you, I don't want to get ahead of myself or overwhelm you, but I want you to know that's the detail we're going to help you with. And what we do in Land Academy, we have it broken out. It's called our equity planner. And it really helps you sit down, plan your year, plan your life, big goals and little goals, all the way down to how much mail I need to send out this month to make it happen and what kind of deals I need to do. So we'll talk
Incredibly
about that.
organized here. I don't know if you bring this level of organization to the podcast.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm organized here.
Yeah.
Oh. Why would two of us have to do all that? You do
We
it.
have a saying in our household,
Uh-oh.
we both shouldn't suffer.
Yeah.
If there's anything that can do, one person needs to suffer if we're going to go do something we don't want to do.
Well, I have another saying. It's like, well, two people can't work on the same deal.
Yeah,
That came up
for sure.
last week. I had someone that she and her partner are tripping on each other. You know, it's funny. This is a good one. I was doing a coaching. We do one-on-one coaching too, by the way, and we have all levels of things. We have masterminds. So if you're new to this, we have the self-study, we have group stuff, we have one-on-one stuff, and then we have a mastermind program. So wherever you are in your journey or wherever you want to go, we can help you with that. And it kind of ties to the big picture. You know, I want you to be thinking about long-term, you know, what's important to you? You know, is this going to be for you and your family? Are you trying? There's a lot of people in here, us included, who do things with our children. If anything, the one thing that I always make sure we do with our kids, whether or not they're in the business and they're actively buying and selling land and or houses or properties, they know how to do it. We have taught all of them, you know, the secret sauce,
Yeah.
if you will, that we're talking about with you today. So I know they can always keep food on the table.
Some of them do it, some of them don't.
That's true, but at least they know how. So it's fun. And sometimes, by the way, yeah. So your 15-year-old kid, let me tell you, Alex, what's going to happen with your 15-year-old kid.
Oh my God.
It's going to be really great and while you're helping. And then when you go, okay, now you got this, they're going to be off doing something else. They're back gaming. But 10 years from now, they're going to go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, I
Exactly.
guess they're right. I could have been, yeah,
Right about 25 to 28.
And they go, yeah, I guess there was something to that. So
Yep.
yeah.
Starbucks is not what I thought.
What'd you say?
Starbucks
Oh,
is
yeah.
not the working there is just not what I thought.
Exactly. So cool.
These are actual conversations we've had.
Oh yes, this is going to be good. Yeah. So here's the big picture. This is what for you who are new to just flipping properties at all. This is kind of the big picture of what we do with our business. So it's 10 steps. It all starts with picking an area. When we say fishing and trolling for locations, you're going to be we're going to show you how to scan the country. It starts with your equity planner, thinking about, you know, we just talked about how much I want to make this year, how much I want to make this quarter, what are my deals going to look like? It's going to lead to the mail, and it's also going to lead to what am I buying and what am I selling? Okay, based on my own math and 2 deals a month, I need to make sure every deal I do makes at least, let's just say, like Derek needs to make at least $40,000 a deal. Well, once you have that math and you have that all spelled out, you're going to know what to go and look for. You're going to be, you know, fishing and trolling for locations to send mail. That's going to lead you to, great, you're going to end up with how many zip codes? We'll talk about this in a minute here. Then it's going to lead you to what we call our red, yellow, green test, where you're going to test those areas. Just double check. Even though it looked good here when I was just playing around on Zillow, you're going to run it through some tests, and I'll show you a snapshot of what ours looks like. I'll get to that here in a second, Jen. We're buying them. I'll tell you about. Then you're going to go down to the red, yellow, green test. and double check it. And you're going to send out you're going to download the data of all the people in this area. You picked this area, you checked it. Now you're going to download the ownership data. You're going to price it. I'm going to send out offers in the mail. If you ever want to know, go to offers, what they look like. You can go right over now, even to offers2owners.com. That's our direct mail company. And you can look at the template of the letter, sample letter, and the purchase agreement that goes out. Then what happens, like we just talked about in the beginning, Jack's like, I don't want to work that hall. Why would I cold call everybody? Wait for them to call me back. We send these out by the tens of thousands every month. And that's what gets people calling you back, especially right now. They're calling back, they're emailing back, they're mailing these signed offers back saying, yeah, I do want to sell now. And that's creating a deal. It wasn't a deal before. It's not on the MLS. They got a letter and just like, I don't have to do anything. I just have to pick up the phone. Jill's going to answer and we can talk about it. Then we do the due diligence. Do I really want it? Is this a really good one? I don't do it back here or here. Let's let the work come back, see who's interested. And then I go look and go, all right, do I still want it? How great is the deal? Do I want it at that price? Then I buy it. So that answers your question, Jen. Do you buy them or sign them? I buy it flat out. And if you don't have the dough, Jen, I do. I'll fund it. It needs to be a good deal. I'll be the bank with you. Why? I don't want any state telling me I'm not out of compliance. I'm representing somebody. I'm the owner. So I own it. I control the deal. That's huge. And then I'd sell it, try and sell it.
This is a key difference to our business model than a lot of stuff that's going on and has gone on, developed recently.
True.
When you buy a property, whether you buy it yourself or with a partner, you make damn sure that it's a good property and that you're going to make some money and you take it seriously. And it brings a level of sophistication and intelligence to our business that doesn't exist with wholesaling property.
True.
And so this whole notion of throwing a bunch of stuff up on the wall to see what sticks and now I make 10 grand on the one that works out. We're not about that at all. We take this business really seriously and we professionally buy and resell real estate every step of the way.
Yep. Our name is on the deed.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. And that takes anybody giving you a hard time about anything. Are you a licensed agent? Are you this? Are you that? Hey, I'm the owner. Okay, never mind. It's mine. I get to do what I want with it. Like, yep, you are right. Have a good day, kind of thing. And I control it. I'm never going to lose a deal too. I can't even imagine. I hate to think what the odds are, when you wholesale it and you're like, I have 100 under contract, and then you're spending all this time. And like you said, it's, expensive title issues. It would cost a lot up front just to settle them. We can help with that, Jen. You need, nope. My team getting problems solved and through title. I have an amazing team. We can help with that too. And that's Land Academy. So yeah. What if you're an agent? Do you complicate things at all? We have a lot of agents in our group that are like, I'm tired of making the money for somebody else. I want to be the investor now, kind of thing. I want to be on that end of the table. And I would just say, whatever state you're in, it's very easy. Reach out in our Discord group. Ask them, hey, everybody, I'm a licensed agent in Texas. What do I need to do special as an agent to make sure I'm in compliance? There you go. And most of the time I have learned that in your state, there's special things you have to do. But when you're dealing outside of your state, then there's things you don't have to do. But again, it's all spelled out in your state's regulations. And we have enough of you in Land Academy that you'll probably find some help there on what you need to do differently. So anyway, buy the property. Back to, you're either going to sell it yourself or, depending on the profit, use a land focused broker to do it, which is most of what we're doing, by the way. That really helps me scale when I'm not having to go take pictures and do things, because I'm selling properties where there's $100,000 of profit. I can afford the 6 or 10% to pay a land focused broker agent to sell my property. I bake that into it. So I'm making $88,000, which is great because I bought it for $30,000, that kind of a deal. So
it also removes half of the work
true
in your entire business.
That's it.
If half of your work is working on buying it, and that's the magic. If you can buy cheap real estate, everything else is going to fall. Undervalued real estate, everything else will fall in place. And if you can outsource it, if you look at land real estate agents, good ones, as a form of outsourcing for 6 to 10%, super efficient. It's a total variable cost instead of a fixed cost. And it has served us very, very well. The key is you got to find a good agent, which is getting harder and harder.
Right. When you find them though, now you have you build a little team with them, which is great. So then you sell the property and repeat. So that's the base of it. So today we're going to talk about the steps 1 and step 2. So what's step 1? Okay. Again, this is high level on purpose to just get your wheels thinking. And again, we'll have time after this to answer questions. And throughout this week, this is all going to make sense. And then within Land Academy, you better believe we go deep on this, really deep on this, so you really understand it. But basically, how do we spot triggers that indicate it's a good area to buy and sell land? You're going to remember your acquisition criteria based on your goals are going to help you set the parameters of what you're looking to find. Like I'm looking to find deals like Derek, where I only make 40 grand. So what does that look like? Maybe I buy for 20 to sell for 70, 80. So when I'm all done, I know I made my 40 grand in there. So you're going to start trolling. You're going to put that stuff in when you're trolling around, whether you use Zillow or Realtor, things like that. You're going to look around the country for areas where they're selling at that price range. And you're going to look at initial triggers are going to be, basically what are buyers purchasing? Look at the for sale to sold ratio. Like, duh. If I'm on Zillow, and I see 20 properties for sale, but then I click the sold button and I look in the last 12 months, 45 are sold. Oh, that's good. Look at that. It's more than 2 to 1, in the last 12 months. So there's things like that that you're going to look for. Days on market at a glance. You're going to get to know the country, and you're going to really dig in. When you kind of focus on an area, you're going to really dig in and get to know it really well. It's just like, Texas, I don't know. You'll get to know the days on market, and you're going to start, the initial triggers are going to start like this. I'm just kind of painting the picture here. You're going to go like, all right, that makes sense. Look at the sold, look at days on market. Duh. I don't want to be in an area where, yeah, these numbers make sense, but everything, is 150 to 200 days on market. Well, that's not moving real quick. It's not a hot area. And then also you're going to start looking at listings, individual listings, like I showed you a minute ago on the free property. You'll start picking up on what buyers want, what's a good posting, maybe even pick up good agents in there. So when you're done with this and you've scanned the country, and if we have time at the end, we can do a little of that. So what's a good days on market target? It's relative to the area. In one area, 90 days on market, another area, it's 5.
I just looked at a market in outside of Kansas City. The days on market were in the single digits.
There you go.
And so when I looked at it, the zip code that was next to it, it was 15 to 20 days on market.
Yeah.
So those two relative to each other, it's obvious that the single digit one was good. If I compared that Kansas market, either one of those to what's going on in Alaska, ever in Alaska, in good times or bad times, it's years on market there.
Yeah.
So it's very relative.
Yep. So like I said, after you're done doing this, this is all the stuff that we really deep dive, teach you how to do and show you and walk you through it. You'll end with zip codes and you'll end with counties. You started with your criteria. Now you're really going where this works. All right. And you're going to run them through Jack's red, yellow, green tests, and you're going to pick the best one. So here's a little snapshot of what this looks like. So I just kind of want you to see what we do. And this is going to tie in to what you're saying, Alex. Here's days on market, new list to pending, parcels on the whole market. This is just a little, again, copy of how deep we go and how much we make sure that we're sending our offers to the right areas and not wasting time and not wasting money and going for our acquisition goals. And it's unique for everyone, by the way. My acquisition goals and your acquisition goals are going to be really different. So yeah, this is good. But this is just an example of what it's going to look like. All these spreadsheets and things like that we share within Land Academy and really show you where to go, how to download the data, what to plug in here, and how to analyze it. That's Jack. He loves this. So just a couple little examples, kind of like Derek here, a little case study of what's possible. Like, what do you like? Okay, this is great. Like, I need to show me some properties that this really, really worked. Well, here, I'm not going to look it up right now because I want to give time for questions instead. But here really is a view from the property, and here's the actual property. This is one we bought not long ago. We bought it for $13,000. Ended up selling it for 49. I mean, really
Very
easy,
realistic.
realistic, especially if you're new numbers that you can do. And I wanted to say there's a lot of moving parts to this. I don't want you to think that it's 10 steps. Check, 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 check. There's a lot to it, but that's why we're here. And I promise you we'll get you there. If you're really interested in this, I've got 10 years of experience in Land Academy that we can show you how to get there, all levels too. That's where we're here. You have us, you have a support, and you have a roadmap to really show you how to do that. And you have peers. Here's another one. There's a Texas one that we did again. This is the actual picture of the property. And this one we funded for a Land Academy member. So I want to show you too, just an example of what's possible. Like, okay, I don't have the dough. How much money can I make? So this particular property purchase price was $40,000, 43.49 and 81 cents. That was all escrow costs, everything including. And I put a little timeline in here too. And went on the market. This was not days ago, by the way. This was last year. So last March, but I wanted to show in here. The agent said the listing is going to go live on the MLS on the 21st. 2 days later, we already had 2 written offers. These are the offers. We had one for 150 and one for 124.5. We took the cash. Like, are we nuts? No.
Yeah, that's good.
Take the cash, move on. So, and that was what we sold it for. So it all ended up being 127.5. We brought up a little bit. So the profit, as you can see, that was us. That's what the deal person made. We funded the deal for 40,000, sold for 127.5. We split the deal with the deal manager, the person who brought us the deal, which could be you. And we each walked away with a profit of $38,000 by the time it was all done. So this is just a little snippet too. And the reason I want to talk about this right now is because this comes up often. And this is one of the beautiful things about what we do. We are here to fund your deals. Don't worry about it. Where else can you get that? I want you to know that if you find us a good deal, we just ask Jen, we'll fund it.
This is why we created Land Academy.
Yeah.
We did not create Land Academy, and this separates us from everybody else out there.
Mhm.
We did not create Land Academy to collect money from you every month so that is from a profit standpoint.
Mhm.
That's not why we're here.
Yeah.
We're here to fund your deals.
And Jen says most people want to close at or above retail price. You're right. I'm not here to reset the market. I'm here to double my money and get out. At least double my money and get out. That's the whole point. I'm not going to sit on it for a year and like, ooh, look what I did. Let's move on. Get this money working faster for you. The velocity of money. That's a whole nother conversation. And I know we've done podcasts on that too. So it's better, Jen, to sell it, move on, put it in something else. Don't look back. Just stick with your goals.
We never maximize price ever.
Yeah. And
That's key to our business model.
True.
And it goes against biology.
It does.
We all want to get the highest price for everything that we're selling.
But the thing about it is, Jen, because then my buyer is thrilled. I've doubled my money or more. My buyer got something for less than retail. They are jumping up and down. And guess what? Now I have a buyer for life. That has served us well a long time. So why is it important to get, to know where the funding is coming from so you can confidently focus on finding great deals. That is your job. We're here to show you, teach you, pick the right areas, go find the deals. If you have the dough, great. You don't need any funding, great. Love it. Hey, if you have a lot of dough and you want to fund other people's deals, that happens in Land Academy a lot too, great. But I want you to know and feel really good that if you don't have the dough to fund these deals, you don't need to come to this with a couple $100,000. So you could get started with less than $10,000 in this whole thing because we'll fund your deals. Just get those offers out, find them, and we'll show you how to do. So I've been in the land program for 1.5 years, no closed sales yet. The sellers want too much for their land. I cannot find the don't wanters. We can help you. Yeah.
You're not
Okay,
reaching
good.
the, answering that very candidly, you're not reaching the right sellers.
True.
There's a process to go through where it begins with fishing/trolling around the market to fit your own personal acquisition criteria.
Yeah.
And then within that market, what that really works, one of the it's not just there's two or three things going on there. If you're doing this and it's not working out, I'm not sure that you're doing or your group is finding the areas. You want to make sure that the area that you choose to send offers is is so amazing that when offers do come back and you do buy a property, the market will help it push it through. Number
Exactly.
two, there's a lot of types of people, as you know, if you've done this before, a lot of types of reasons people call you back that
Mhm.
because they received your offer. And if they're going to talk about price, you can immediately almost say that's not it. But if they do call you back and say, I'm having a life event, I have to move across the country, there's a death in the family, and I don't need or want, or I inherited property. Those life events, those are the people that we buy property from all the time, and it works out well.
Exactly. So good. I'm gonna get through this so we can talk more of these. These are some really good questions.
Oh,
So
sorry.
talk
Yeah.
about funding. You're good. Like I said, if you have your own funds, great. If you need a deal funder, us, another member, a partner. We don't wholesale. Mm-mm. I'm buying the deal. So funding. Oh, so let me just say, funding is not one of our names or both of our names are going on the deed, depending on who puts in the dough. So if you and I do it together, we're going to both put our name on the deeds. You're like, Jill, I need 20 grand. I have 10. Okay. Or Jill, I spent all my money. I need the whole 20 grand. Okay. Now my name's going on the deed. So,
There's confusion
partners.
around. You want me to just let you get through it and then we'll do the questions? Okay.
Please. And then we're going to go, and then of course, other people's money. So that's like my little nugget here is it's funny because it's family members will come out of the woodwork when they realize what's going on, but you have to keep an eye out because it can be a headache when
Only
they
after
take
the
their money.
first deal,
Exactly.
not before.
Yeah.
Before they're going to tell you crazy.
And then when they see
And you
what you
make 10 or
made,
20 grand, then they want in.
I am sure Derek's family members are like,
Yeah.
can I just give you this money and you turn it into 40 grand for me too? And Derek's like, hold on a moment.
Don't let them in.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get there. So yeah. But the whole point of this is no good deal should go to waste. And you need to buy it. Somebody needs to buy it, own it, control it, period. And you never have to worry about funds with our group, just finding those great deals. And a little nugget too, like there's a lot of people in Land Academy. There's a healthy handful of people or more that have no intent on sending out mail. They are 100% here because they know how smart this group is and they just want to be the bank and fund your deals. So you will not use, if you find a great deal, it will get funded. So, so I want to wrap up here. So now you kind of have a little bit of the picture of what's going on. You kind of understand a little bit about just high level data. You saw our red, yellow, green test to kind of show you what we're doing. So, and now I'm gonna jump in. I've got Q&A questions and I'm gonna got chat questions too. So I'm gonna let me whip through the um chat or the Q&A ones here, and then I'll circle back around to the chat ones. So, all right. I love it. Jeff's like, can I give you the stuff on my garage? Kind of like that, Jeff. You know what, Jeff? It's funny you say that, but that's how I see this. People, especially if you inherited it, it's like, dad gave me this car, this classic car. It's not my thing. I don't know what to do with it. It's in my garage. It's stuff in the garage. You just want to get rid of it. I know I could, the stuff in your garage, Jeff, like, you could clean it up, polish it, all the old bikes, make them pretty, take beautiful photographs, and sell it at a decent price on eBay or Craigslist or OfferUp or something, right? But wouldn't you rather have me come over to your garage, Jeff, right now today and stand there, look around and go, all right, I'll give you $1,000 for all of it and I'll get it out of here today. You're gonna go, done, take it. That's kind of what this is. That's a little bit how our sellers, the mentality of this land, especially inherited land. They're like, thank you. Dad died. I don't know what to do with it. I've never been there. I don't even know why he had this. Like, yeah. And you're giving me $10,000 tomorrow and my wife just lost her job. Yeah, I'll do that, Jill. So that's not crazy. You can jump in anywhere. Lindsay Blink says, is there such a thing as a zip code being too green?
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good question.
absolutely.
Yeah, the market is very hot and there's a going rate, so it's unlikely compared to other markets, like a below market offer.
There is such thing as
Good.
that's a very sophisticated and a good question.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often. We saw it happen in Austin, Texas during between COVID and now with houses specifically where it was just so hot that everybody was a seller, everybody was a buyer, and everything got financed. And those markets we try to stay out of. We're anti-competition here. And so we do talk about that in the program, but the likelihood of you choosing one is very low. If you follow the rules that we have set forth in the Land Academy programs and you utilize data in a red, green, yellow test the way it was designed, there's a very small chance you're going to find those ultra hot markets.
Frank Hitlin says, what's best, urban or suburban or rural properties in general? I always say, let the data tell you where to go.
Yeah. It depends on what your acquisition criteria is. If you love infill lots, which are tiny little lots that are in towns that are really the only use for them is to build houses on them, then it's urban. If not, you like ranches and stuff, rural's better.
Exactly.
There's money to be made in all this stuff.
Totally. And again, the data is going to tell you exactly. There's my Q&A. Data is going to tell you where to go. What are they all buying? Like, wow, look at this. It might be, woo, this part of Colorado. Everybody wants these 5-acre ranches. Got it. And here in Austin, though, boy, every little lot, infill lot in between houses, those fly off the shelves.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going to mail. I'm going to mail those 2 areas, kind of thing. Do you ever buy at auction? We have.
I started the whole company going to auctions in person before auctions became a thing on the internet. And it was a blast. And we made a ton of money and it was a great time in my life, but those days are over. Again, there's just too many. It ends up being and 9 times out of 10, it ends up being you're buying something for retail.
Do we have any experience with deals in South Carolina? We pretty much within our Land Academy group have all the states covered. Like,
Air deals.
oh, air deals. Oh,
H-E-I-R,
excuse
yeah,
me.
air deals.
Air deals in South Carolina. Yeah, that air deals where someone has inherited a property.
So I'll read between the lines here very briefly.
Yeah.
We don't one-off transactions ever. For my entire career,
True.
people bring us deals like, oh, I've got this deal. This thing's happening over here. It's in Tennessee. And we just stop right there because that's not what we do. What we do is send out tens of thousands of letters of actual offers and field the responses that come back and then pick the ones that we want to buy. And so analyzing one-off transactions is, while I think that is a very traditional, old school way of real estate, that's just not what we focus on. We focus on building a machine.
Right. So the deals will pop up. It's like we blast the whole area, let it come back to me. Might I deal with something like this? Sure. And then the next 5 are everybody's alive and happily paying their taxes and they just want to get out.
That said,
they just need the money.
We buy a lot of property from heirs. That's just how it ends. The mail hits heirs also.
True.
And so we do a lot of transactions like that.
That's a good point. We don't seek them out. But they'll pop in.
Yeah.
So love it. David Wareham says, is there a good county and state indicator to start research? Or is our first level of discovery to randomly choose a county and state and go from there? You know what? I'm going to lead with that tomorrow. So you know what? Tomorrow, just, because we're going to run out of time here. So David, I'm going to lead with some trolling and some fishing, where we're going to go together with Jack. I'm going to have Zillow pulled up tomorrow when we start, and we're going to start looking around the country and just watch him, what he picks out and what triggers his mind, and he'll show it to you and explain it to you. So, this would be something we would now put in our regular green tests, and here's why.
There's nothing random about this.
No?
Nothing.
There we go.
Not a single element of let's see what happens enters in the Land Academy model.
Yeah. Anonymous says, how do you feel about assignment of contracts?
We don't do them.
I buy it. I believe in the deal that much. If I don't believe in the deal, I don't buy it. I move on. Period. No reason to get it under contract. spend days, weeks, months trying to sell something that I don't really believe in. I don't like the price. Let's just see if somebody comes up. How much time have I wasted? I'm buying
We just
something.
bought a house for $124,000 in a market where I know we'll resell it within a week for
Yeah.
300. Would you do an assignment on that?
No way.
I
Are you
want to
kidding
control the
me?
deal.
Yeah.
And we'll make so in the end we'll make, I don't know, $140,000 on that.
Yeah.
If I do 10 of those a year, I've made $1,400,000,
Yeah.
$1,040,000.
Yeah.
$1.4 million. So I don't want to horse around with assignment of contracts and all of that, specifically because if it's a great deal, just bring it to us and we'll do it with you.
Hmm.
So your focus then becomes to be an acquisition expert, and that's it.
Exactly. So yeah, so Robert said too, can you give us a real example? And we'll do that. We'll start with that
Yeah.
tomorrow morning. We'll lead with that. That'll be really, really good. Um, Derek says, what are good ways to price land? The last mail I sent, I was offering 50-50 resale with a plan to resell at 70 to 80. I sent out mail upstate in South Carolina. This area is growing. That's going to happen tomorrow too. Remember, we're going to talk about pricing tomorrow.
Yeah, we have what's called the rule of quarters, and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yep, you got it. That's too much, Derek, by the
Yeah.
way. It's too much that you're offering. Too many, too much can go wrong too.
There's a perception in the world that the higher you offer, the higher the amount that you offer, the more deals you're going to do. And it's just, and I know it's a biological response to stuff for pricing. That's not the case.
Exactly. I'm gonna go a little bit over for a few minutes here, guys. So I want to, because I'm gonna answer all these questions that are popping in here. Um, Kanika Tolver says, what if you have the money to purchase um your own land deals? You can just buy and resell on the land. Yeah, do it.
You're
You're
in
not
the,
splitting the profit with anybody. You're gonna do
you're
great.
in the right place.
Yep.
There's
That's the
no,
majority of
look,
us.
yeah, there's no mandatory rule that you fund deals with us in any way. And
No,
we don't take a percentage of
no.
just, if you got your own money, you're in the right place.
Exactly. Totally. We're here for a resource if you need us, and we'll help you. What are the downsides to focusing on infill lots?
The downsides to
Renters.
open are very specifically um, correlated with the sign of the times economically. And right now, there's a lot of houses on the market. Infill lots are for houses being built on them. There's not a lot of one-off building now at all. There's none actually. So I've done so many infill lot deals, but we don't
Mhm.
mail out infill lots right now because like the economy doesn't support it on the south side.
Mhm. And again, the data is going to tell you that.
Yeah.
It's going to show you that, like, oh, look, these infill lots in Austin were hot in COVID, not so much now. Now I'm going to focus on something else. Sharon Gaber says, how many variables are there to finding a great deal? Lot size, area, state, county. We're going to show some
Less
of
than
that
10.
tomorrow. Mhm.
It's a
And does
great,
having a real
these are
estate,
good
these
questions.
are really good, yeah. Also, Sharon Gaber says, do you have a real estate license help you or hinder you essentially for deals, or is it a variable? Well, let's just say we personally, we've gone through the whole education, which I highly recommend. You know, if you have the time and the energy and the money to go through it, because it's nice to know what they know, but we are not licensed agents on purpose.
It's personal preference.
Mhm.
We have tons of people in our group who are agents and just as many who are not.
I don't need to be. I'm not representing anyone, Sharon. I am the owner of the property. It's like I can buy and sell my own car. I don't have to be a car dealer. It's kind of like that. So, and I will say too, I have felt over the years, I've been at this now with you for 16 years. Um, I have felt that people love that I'm not an agent. Look, I'm not an agent. I'm the owner of the property. Whatever deal you're and I are going to come with a deal, not going to be a huge amount of paperwork. My broker's not going to get
Yeah.
involved. We're going to do this deal and this is it. I only need you to sign this and I'll open escrow. They're like, whew, love it. That's really
I mean,
good.
do you think very successful real estate entrepreneurs are licensed real estate agents? I don't think so.
Correct. Yep. Do you handle New York City infill lots? 70% of retail too much. What's a possible sweet spot in competitive markets?
The data will tell you if you look at sold values in the metropolis, that will tell you what you're going to buy and resell property for.
Exactly.
See, we don't guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
The data will tell us exactly what to do.
Jen, you have a lot of good questions. Are you buying with an SD IRA?
Self-directed, no.
Yeah.
We have a person in our group who's done presentations to all of us about the value of doing that.
Mhm.
And we can point in the right direction there. Jill and I have a different concept on retirement that works really well for us and doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people.
Mhm.
It does to us for some reason.
Are you using an LLC? These are all things too that we cover
Yes.
in Land Academy. We do, but getting started, don't let that slow you down. If you're brand new and you buy a couple properties in your name to test this and see if it works for me, that's totally fine. Make some money like Derek. When you're staring at 40,000 bucks and you're like, okay, now I'm gonna make this an empire. I'm gonna go get an LLC. I'm gonna set all this stuff up. Then it makes
Good
sense.
answer, Joe.
Thank you. Kanika says, do you ever call home builders and negotiate with them?
Yeah.
I don't really call them and I don't really negotiate with them. Like I don't seek them out slash, however, do they get our offer letters like everybody else? Yeah. We have a person right now buying stuff from, can't remember who it was now, but one of the big home builders got her offer and called her back and they're working out a deal. So yeah.
This they buy property from us.
Mhm.
Home builders are very good sell side customers for us,
True.
not as much buy side.
Yeah, mostly the sell side, you're right, but once in a while the buy side, never know. Seeker Roma says, is fire damage property ever a good deal if it had a house and utilities previously? If you get it, if you buy it right, the price is
If it
right.
comes back in a mailer, we get property like this that comes back in the mailer, and if it's priced correctly,
Mhm.
hell yes.
Exactly.
We don't seek it out. We don't drive for dollars here. We don't guess. There's no
Mm-mm.
guessing.
Princess G says, what are qualities of a good deal to bring you? I.e., oh, we'll talk about that. I'm going to make sure they're in here too. That's in our due diligence, and it's the 8 A's. So we have a whole list of 8 things. Don't worry, we will arm you with this that will show you exactly what you need and what's a good deal. Love it. I think that's on, I don't know if it's tomorrow or Thursday. I can't remember. How do we get access to the software that we use?
Jill and I are
Land
licensed
Academy.
providers. And as a member of Land Academy, you get all the exact same discounts that we get.
Yeah. All right. Sharon Gaber says, is it better to start buying and flipping before keeping a property for personal investing or retirement or building a dream home, or is it random and variable by the budget? It's all personal preference. Hey, Sharon, if you're first mailer, you find you're like, I'm here to make some money in this area. And by the way, it's also where I want to have my dream home, and you find it. So what? Buy it. And everything else will just keep funding your dream home. So,
One of the two of us may be guilty of keeping real estate
mm-hmm.
because they fall in love with
He
it.
does, we can't sell this. And so I wait a little while and then I sell it and he forgets about it. And I promise him that there's going to be more. So you're welcome, Bob. Carlos said I missed the info question. So which one was the info question about? It's really about the data though. I think that
The
was,
data is going to tell you what to do. Right now, I don't believe is a good time
yeah.
to be buying info lots because the end user is either going to build a house for themselves or be a builder. And there's no homes being built right now. The new
Mhm.
construction for single family residences is a mess. It's an absolute
Exactly.
mess out there, which just spells opportunity for us. Right now is a perfect time to be doing this. This is
So
there's
much
so much
opportunity.
real estate on the market. You can pretty much name your price.
Yep, exactly. Sharon said, very true. Thanks for your insight and professional opinion and taking the time to answer my questions. You're welcome. David Worm says, before mail goes out, what do you scrub and filter out, if anything? Wetlands, FEMA, access slope, power.
There's a whole procedure. We scrub a ton out. There's a whole procedure that we go through in Chapter 4 in Land Academy 3.0 that I narrate myself. We don't want to waste money on mail
Mhm.
that's going to go to places that make no sense and they're not going to get a response. And if the property comes back, we're not going to buy it anyway.
Exactly. Jen says, do you do any lot prep, like landscape clearing, movable buildings, perk tests, easements, landlocked, etc.? Mm-mm.
Good answer.
Nope. I'm about, Jen, in case, here's the thing. I need you to put on a different hat. Follow me here. These are excellent questions, by the way. And just be an acquisition machine. Don't think about what you're going to do to improve the property. You're just churning property. And you're going to have 4 deals closing this week. 20,000, 40,000, 10,000, and
Good job.
80,000. That's it. I'm not sitting here dealing with the city and working on that and doing a minor split here and a that there. I'm really bored later and I'm loaded later and I want to get tip my, play around with that stuff. Sure. But right now, I want you to be an acquisition machine. Put your head down, think about your goals, short term this month, long term this year, and beyond, and hit those numbers. Then we'll talk about maybe I do this stuff.
I've never met,
You just buy them right and flip them.
I've never
So,
met a
awesome.
civil engineer who's happy.
Yeah.
I've never met a city employee who's generally happy.
Mhm.
I've never met a home rehabber in general who's happy, unless they have their own
Yeah,
TV show. But I've met a lot of people who buy stuff and resell it for more, who are very happy and satisfied with all of that.
exactly.
Jill and I just did another deal and we closed on it, I think last week, and we will not, it was a disaster. And we will not even sweep the floor. We got it so cheap. We'll just sell it to the person who's going to sweep the floor.
Good question. Kanika asks, like, how much does it cost to do a direct mailing campaign? Yep, my team even put in there offers to owners.com. I want to say it's like 60, 70 cents a unit, somewhere in there.
Something like that.
Yeah. And there's different things if you're going to do your own. And then we have more expensive things if you want help downloading the data and if you want help scrubbing the data and getting it ready to price and even putting together like uh, uh, pricing info knowledge on what's going in that market. So we have all kinds. So it starts 60, 70 cents a unit, goes up from there depending what you want to do, what help you want. So really good. Nothing below sea level. I don't know, Sharon. It depends on the
I
area.
think that's good basic advice.
Okay.
Don't buy property below sea level.
Renee says good advice on being, what are you so funny?
That's great advice.
It's good.
We have whole states in the southeastern part of the country that are below sea level, and
Like Louisiana.
we've all seen the end of that story,
There is that.
unfortunately.
So what's the most response you get from mailers? Oh my gosh. I'm still, it's so great. This is a good thing to end it on today because we're 10 minutes over. And I'll build in more Q&A time tomorrow. How's that for sure? So what's the most response we've gotten? I have one going on right now and it was, how many went out? Was that maybe 10,000? I don't even think for me, 10,000 units at a time is not that bad. So I'm used to it. And I have a team, of course, to help with all the other stuff. So, but they went out in January and I swear this area wasn't such a hot area in January. It was in the middle of snow. And this particular ski season didn't pan out as well. So people are like obviously like digging up my letters off their desks. I swear this is what's happening. Like, where's that letter that person sent me? Because I need to call them now. We're selling this thing. So some responses, they're all over the place, and then it depends on you. And this is such a good question, Donnie, because this is what I help you with too. How do I talk to these people? How do I get them on my side? What questions do I ask them? How do I win them over like you do and create these deals at my price? All of this we help with you in Land Academy and talk about it. So it's a really good question. And does land sell better if it's already on a paved road and utilities? Sure,
It
depending
really depends on price.
and what the people want.
We have property that have had a ton of property actually that has no access at all, but it's so cheap that it just gets sold, and it gets sold for the price that we want it to get sold. So prices really matters.
Exactly. So I'm going to wrap this up
Here,
now.
let me say one more thing. I know there's a ton of questions, and we could sit here and answer questions for 3 hours, and this happens every single time. And my first choice is to answer all these questions. Please come on, join us tomorrow, and I'm going to lobby the people who produce this whole thing, not Jill, because they kind of tell us what to do. And we'll try to see if we can allow for some more time.
Oh, I can.
Because there's a ton of great questions in the chat. We can't get to them.
Yeah.
We have a schedule.
Yep. All right. So here's what we're going to do.
It's not my first choice.
So to wrap up today, again, we talked about setting goals on the roadmap. We saw the 1 through 10. So you kind of have an idea of what this looks like. Choosing the right markets. We talked about that. And tomorrow we're going to lead with that. I'm going to show some of that. Jack's going to show around, have a map and do some Zillow and show around, be really good or whatever Jack loves to use. we're going to talk about, understanding. We didn't really talk about this, but basically we did a little bit. We're buying for undervalued properties and selling them higher, not retail, not crazy. I want it to move fast. I want to put that money back into the next deal and just keep churning it. We talked about data-driven investing, we don't guess on anything. If you guess, that's how you make a mistake and you overspend for a property, and we talk about getting deals funded. So today, think about what we talked about. Maybe go open up Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, whatever you love. Think about, how much money you want to make. I know some of this stuff is in your workbook too. How much money, and like start looking around the country, like look for things that are selling at the price that you want to sell a property. And then we'll talk to you more this week about how to back into it. So, and then, oh, here we go. And the winner of today's free, my team did a little drawing. They had spun the wheel and put it in here for us. So this is cool. So the winner of today's free quick start consulting call with our team is Milo. So Milo C, yay. You are so welcome. Milo C is going to get to have watch your email. My team will give you instructions on how and where to schedule your free consulting call. Yay. Yay. All right, looking for Milo. Okay, in the workbook, watch your email. My team has that coming to you in the email. So here for tomorrow, I want to talk about, we're going to talk about, basically, how are we consistently buying this land so cheap, period. We're going to talk more about direct mail and getting these guys, making these land dollars call and ready to sell. We're going to talk about pricing. That's a huge thing, so you don't overpay. And we're going to talk about, we have a special guest coming. And again, I'll update this too. So we're going to lead tomorrow and I'll have some more, even more Q&A time. So, whew, this was awesome.
Nice work. Geez, that's fast.
I know it goes, oh, good. My team put it in there. So real quick, before we cut, if you look in the chat, there's a link to the workbook. There's a link to the Discord and there's a link to the Facebook groups. And then pretty soon in your email, I think almost when we finish, shortly thereafter, you'll have the replay of this too. So happy you joined us today. And we will see you the same time tomorrow. Will you be here?
Yeah, if you want me to.
Just kidding.
Of course. I got a kick out of this stuff.
Good.
Every time we do this, there's 19 things that I learn that we need to be communicating in a more efficient way. So yes, I get a lot out of this actually.
Exactly. Good. All right. Thank you all. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.